at this site here, 360 virtual tours, and going through a few edits and changes just to get everything working and looking the way I wanted it to. And if you saw the last video, you'll see that I had a parallax, which is when you move the mouse over and you can see this thing, this drone graphic floating around. But all of these other two did the same thing, and I just wanted to sort of break it up on the page because it was a bit pointless having a drone that should be floating around like this, but with a 360 which should be doing a 360 like that. And I wanted to do something with the camera to sort of simulate a very rough shutter click. So I did that yesterday afternoon. This morning I've been very busy on another job and finished a short while ago and thought, well, it's getting on for it's halfway through the afternoon and I'll just crack on with this and spend a couple of hours on this. And then I talked yesterday about putting a new banner in, and I think I put a picture in here originally. So what I've just done is started to create a new banner, animated banner. I was going to put some of this text down in here, but I actually quite like the white section. I think what I might do is extend that section down a little bit so it's a slightly wider white section, otherwise it's going to go from one to another very quickly. And if I just refresh this page so that you get the idea of what the banner does so far, that this text won't exist. That's certainly not like that. That's just a transition. Don't particularly like that particular transition. And then it goes through to this. So the idea behind this banner, and I will get rid of these navigations, I don't like these particularly. This one will be the first banner, and this is effectively the view of the room, which I've then later done a 360 panorama in. This is before you stitch the photographs that you've taken. So this is basically directly from the camera with a little bit of Lightroom editing to get the lights up nice and bright. The second screen would then be this one, which is the panorama made from those two circles. So these two circles are effectively stitched and joined together to create this. And then what you do, you then put that into a 360 player, and for the website it's just easier, and you end up with this, and this is that room now being shown as a 360. Play in big screen, but absolutely no point in doing that. And then once you've got all of the images similar to this put together, you can put your links in and link one to the other, so that when you click you can actually then do your virtual tour. Press escape key to get out of that, click into anywhere off this item to, in fact one of that does it now, let's click off the item and that will get me out. So some of the processes I went to, had to go through to get to that is it's not difficult. I mean, I've done it before, so I know where I am, but unless you do know your stuff, you know, you're hunting around forever to find the right software. For example, this, and I will give these people a mention, this is there's a little watermark down in this corner here, Memento 360, and that's just it's a free plugin that you can put onto your WordPress site, and that will allow you to actually put a panoramic picture in and play it as a moving 360 image. It comes with a couple of other things on there which I've stripped down and put and just edited their code, and if I just come back off that and go back into the thing, so there were two things I did. So these are the basic things on my on this particular WordPress site. I don't use Caldera forms. I use increasingly I'm actually taking the core files of a WordPress site and editing them myself, but increasingly I'm using Avada, which is a basically a page builder, and it comes with a really good set of options, including form manager. It's got its own banner maker and so on, but in the plugins I've been using something separate called pop-up manager, and that's really good. It works, and it's not difficult to learn. All of the plugins have their own little quirks and things, the way that they work, but by the time you go into, if I go into Memento Press, hopefully find it. Memento Press. Memento, I just put Memento 360, hopefully find it that way. I don't think that was it. Memento 360, here we go. So I have an account here, and this is really good. So there's this way of basically editing and adding. Let's just go back to the outside of this site and come down to that banner, go into where that button is and click. So this player for using within a banner is really good. I can also embed straight onto a page as well, and can I find that quickly? No, I can't. Okay, so the site I've been working on this week again, the school one up in London, that's where this came from. So I embedded that directly into a page, and that looks really, really smart because it fits across the whole of the page, and it looks completely integral and built in. But you don't really want to do that on a banner. It just increases the file size, and there's no necessity. And this is perfectly adequate for my purposes. So the first thing I did was go in and collect the plugin that I need, which was the pop-up maker. And a pop-up is literally where you click on something and it will pop up an image or a piece of text on screen. You know, if you go onto a website these days, you get a GDPR pop-up, or you might get a sort of a chat live type pop-up, something like that. That's a pop-up effectively, and so on. And that's all I've done is create a pop-up which happens instead of actually containing text or something, it contains my 360 image. It's just a simple way of showing it. Let's just get rid of that. So I collected my plugin, which is pop-up maker, and go into pop-ups. There's only this one in there. It gets quite involved when you get into it. There's so many little editing functions and bits and pieces that you can do, and I'm not going to mess around with it now. Then I created the slider itself, and so this was the front page top. This is the mid page slider. Probably going to get rid of that. Don't really want that. I'll do something a bit more flash, I think. I've got 3 slides on here now, so that is the first one. The second slide is this one, although I'm going to change the order of those because they're in the wrong way around now. And then the third slide is the background with the button on it. Don't worry about that. Let's just click off that and come back on. Okay. So it's really quite simplistic. On here, I'll now put some text on there. So on this banner, I'll probably put something in the region of, the process, the raw picture leading to the panorama, ending with the 360. I can't actually show you that in here. It's in the makeup side of it. And then I'll put some nice functionality in there as well, so that with the transitions I can do something that's nice. I can get things moving and flicking around, and showing something a little bit more. Let's just come away from that. I don't need to change that yet. Showing a little bit more active on the page. There's nothing worse than having a completely static website. You need something to be going on. So really that's where I am. I'm going to spend a bit more time on the banner before I get down to the bottom part of the site where, if I showed you yesterday, I had these new sections that I wanted to edit. And I think what I will do, I'm just going to tidy up a little bit of this, because there are bits of this text that I just didn't want anymore. I think that was one of the sections I didn't want. So I'll just see what that looks like. I'm sorry, I'm editing on both screens now. Don't want to be doing that. Okay, so yeah, so really speciality and bespoke, don't even really need that for the sake of this website. I just need to get the basic thing up and running. And I had 2 more bookings, well, not bookings, I had 2 more inquiries that came in, one early evening last evening and one this morning, and it's just an amazing thing. We're working really well. Right, so I won't bore you with it. This is where we are. That's the banner. Still got some work to do on that. If I decrease the size of my screen to the size of most people's screen, I've got a measuring guide here, blah blah blah. So that'd be a typical laptop. So that's the size of what this thing looks like on a laptop. It's beginning to take shape. And a slightly normal monitor. There we go, 1920 by 1200. That banner's a little bit big for that, but it's bright, it's in your face, and that's kind of what I'm looking to do. So I will crack on and do some more work and then catch up with you.